Hello everyone, my name is Joan Mbola. I am a Christian romance author, and this is Love Qualified TV, where we talk all about faith, entrepreneurship, and publishing and books. So today I'm going to be doing a 2025 author income report. I normally do this video once a year. I have done it, I think I've started doing it since 2021. So I will leave the link in the description for the videos I did in 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. So without further ado, let's jump into the report. Just a quick disclaimer. I'm only sharing, these numbers just to encourage other Christian authors out there who are also wanting to get into self-publishing and indie publishing, and who are trying to build this business with God and to scale their business. And I'm just sharing the tips and the experience that I've had since I've been publishing in 2018. And I hope that this sharing, these numbers will only encourage you and not discourage you. So here we go. Let's start with my books. So these are the books that I've published. So starting with fiction, I publish both fiction and non-fiction if you're new here. So I've got three series that I'm working on. The first series is called the Sovereign Love series. That series is completed. So we have The One Who Knows Me, which was published in 2021. The One Who Loves Me was published in 2022. The One Who Sees Me, 2023. The One Who Holds Me, 2024. And then we've got the ebook box set, which is only available on my website, so you can get all four books together. And that's called Sovereign Love, and that was published in 2025. Then we've got the Love and Other Things series. This series is still ongoing. It's a series of three standalone novels. The first book was published in 2025, and that's called Love, Scribbles, and Other Things. And then we have the Providence series. The first book was supposed to Promise and Glory. It will be published this year, 2026. And it will be publishing on Kickstarter. So I'm going to talk about that towards the end of this video. But yeah, those are my fiction books. And then non-fiction, I have two devotionals. The first one is called Outpourings of a Beloved Heart. It is a 30-day poetry devotional, which was published in 2018. And then the second is The God Who Knows Me, which is a companion devotional and journal to my first novel, The One Who Knows Me. And that was published in 2023. So we're going to start with book sales per month in 2025. 2025 was an interesting year when it comes to book sales. Overall, we sold less, like a smaller number of books compared to 2024, but we actually earned more than we did in 2024. And I'll talk about, some things that I might have done differently that might have contributed to that. But you will see that let's just start from the beginning. So in January, we sold 915 books. That's because we were coming from a high in December 2024. If you watch the 2024 income report, you will see that December 2024 was my highest income. Well, that's the month I'd sold the most number of books ever. It was well over 1,000 books. It was quite many. And I didn't do any ads or anything that year. I don't know what happened, but we sold so many books that year. So I think that ran on into January. And so when we got to January 2025, we sold 915 books. Then the struggle started, because you could see there was a dip in February to 613 books. And then it went up slightly in March to 679, came back down to 572 in April, then 476 in May, then went back up again to 528 in June, then back down to 495 in July, then August 472. Interestingly, August was a release month. I actually released Love, Scribbles, and Other Things in August, and I've talked about how this release went in a previous video, so if you go and check on my channel, you see I talked about this. This was a release month, and we only sold 472 books. Then September, 459. Then I was expecting this dip in October. If you watch my last income reports, you will see that I always notice the dip in October. I don't know why this happens. I never changed my strategy. I don't know what happened there. Then we went back up to 506 in November, and then December 522. So this 522 December, I didn't do any ads as well. This was just the buzz around like the Christmas, and a lot of people buy books for Christmas, things like that. November, I did do sales. I always do the Black Friday sale where I discount all my books, all my fiction books. They're available for 99 cents. I do newsletter promos for them. And then I discard them when I do for my email list subscribers. I do email marketing, social media marketing. And then throughout the year, I've been running ads, Instagram ads, Facebook ads. Yeah, that's mainly sort of like marketing wise that I do. I didn't change too much in terms of my strategy. So you can see it's the numbers are just up and down, up and down, up and down. Now let's compare these numbers to 2024. It's quite interesting because you can see the pink is 2024. In 2024, we started off low towards the beginning, and then towards the end, the numbers just skyrocketed. As you can see here in December, this is what I was talking about. We sold the number of books we sold was 1,936 compared to the 522 we sold in 2025. And then, with the highest, yeah, so that was the highest number of books I've ever sold in a single month. And then in 2025, it was the opposite. So the highest number of books were sold, towards the beginning of the year. And then that sort of dipped towards the end of the year. So it was a very different year for me. But I tried to make sure what I was trying to build and what God was teaching me this year is to build consistency and sustainability. One thing that I mentioned when I was doing my 2024 income report video is the fact that these high numbers I saw because of virality, so social media virality. A lot of videos went viral on TikTok. My videos went viral. People for like my other videos who posted videos about my books went viral. So a lot of this was especially the jump from June to July 2024. There was a big jump there because of some TikTok videos that went viral. I did not see that virality at all in 2025, and it's good that I wasn't relying on that. And you can see the social media virality is not a valid marketing strategy. God is really teaching me in 2025 to build sustainable ways to market my books. And, that's how you build a long-term sustainable of a career. So, yeah, it was a very different year for me, but I learned quite a lot of things. So these are the book sales on Kindle Direct publishing alone. I don't publish on KDP, but I also publish um, on, well, definitely swearing lots of other places, but I just got to do a chart just to give a bit of an idea of what my bestsellers are. So my bestseller obviously is the one who knows me, my first name. It has always been my bestseller, and followed by the one who loves me, which is the second book in the series, then the one who sees me, the third book in the series, then the one who holds me, which is the fourth book in the series, and then Love Stories and Evergreens. Again, this was just a few months worth of sales. So you see how this book does this year compared to the other books. And then this little sliver here is the devotionals combined. So that's in terms of sales, that's how it works. Now, we're not going to talk about specific numbers for income, but you can see also in terms of income that towards the beginning of the year, it was we're hitting high numbers. Then you can see that huge dip between March and April, and then it just continued to dip, and then going up and down and up and down and up and down. And in November, we have that really large dip there because I didn't receive my pay for November. I was on KDP, the pay for November. I think because the 30th of the month was during the weekend, so we ended up getting paid in December. So everything I earned in November was paid in December for Amazon KDP. And we say Amazon is why that's where I get majority of my income, about 70% or so. So yeah, that really skewed this graph. That's really, really annoying when looking at it because I know that I did earn money in November. It's just that, it came into my bank account in December because of the dates and things like that. So that's an idea in terms of the ups and downs of, being being an indie author. So you can see in terms of the income. And again, this is an income comparison compared to 2024. So the blue obviously is 2025. You can see that it was much higher towards the beginning of the year, and then towards the end of the year, we had the dip. So the graph is pretty much flipped for both years. But interesting enough, we actually earned more in 2025 than we did in 2024, even though you can see in the graph that it's vastly different. So that's something I found interesting. Now, in terms of income streams, you can see the graph in terms of the distribution. Like I said, Amazon KDP is it covers like 70% of my earnings. So that's 74.4%. I will probably do an in-depth video talking about my income streams for 2026. But these are the various income streams that earn money in 2025. So Amazon KDP, that was 74.4%, followed by Ingram Spark actually. This is very different to the graph looked in 2024. So Ingram Spark is actually my second highest, which is 11%. And then you have draft reducer 7.9%. Then you have Barnes and Noble 1.3%. There's signed copies there 1.5%. There's coaching calls. I do provide coaching. I do author coaching. I provide author coaching services for Christian authors, new Christian authors, or upcoming Christian authors who are looking for help with writing their books, self-publishing their books, or social media marketing. I provide this author coaching services. So that was 1.2% of my income. Then the subscriptions, which is basically part of the author coaching, where rather than booking individual coaching calls, you can buy it as a subscription. So I sold one of those in 2025, and that was 0.7%. And then Seller, which is another company where you can put your books up for sale, that was 1.1%, basically. So that's basically the distribution that I had in 2025. But like I said, I will do a separate video of what the income streams look like for me in 2026. Now, these are expenses per month. Again, this looks very different from month to month. It just depends on the number of things that I have to pay for. The huge things that I pay for really is, for book distribution and then for marketing. I will do a separate video about like how much I spent each month for my author business in 2025, just to give you guys an in-depth look into the whole thing. So that's another video that's pending. So I really bother you with the details of this video. I'll do a separate video to talk about. This is just to compare the expenses for 2024 and 2025. As you can see, there's no real pattern to it. It just depends on what I need to pay for. Some months I barely spend anything, and then other months, I spend more. So yeah, this is the expenses breakdown. So I think the highest would be marketing. So 41.2% of the expenses is for marketing, followed by production costs. So everything that I use to produce books, so whether it's editing or cover design or things like that, so that was 32.7%. Then my website and subscription. So everything that I pay to keep my website afloat and all the different subscriptions I have, like Canva, book funnel, all those different things. 21.4%. Then training, so any courses that I attend, any sort of memberships that I'm part of as an author, anything that helps build my career as an author, I count that as training. Even books that I buy, I count that as training as well. So that was 3.8%. And then the last one was just other like miscellaneous things. So that was 0.9%. Like I said, I will do a separate video to break that down for you further month by month. So that is basically it. So in total, I'm just going to open up my Notion. I think in total in 2025, the total number of books that we sold was 6,563 books. And we were able to achieve quite a lot of things by God's grace. And I am super, super, super grateful for everything. I would not have been able to do it without God. Like I said, it can be quite discouraging sometimes in this author journey, especially when you start seeing like there's numbers dipping and you're not doing anything differently and you're not seeing the fruit of your labor. But I know that a lot of authors, especially last year with like the Amazon boycotts and just the whole the flood of AI books, there's lots of AI books now coming, there's saturation. There's just so many things shifting within the publishing industry. But and so a lot of authors that I follow and that I know people have noticed a dip in their book sales. So that's something that is not just, to me. So I know that it's not just me that's experiencing that. But to be able to sell over 6,500 copies of my books, that is a blessing, and that's something that I count as a win. And like I said, overall, for some miracle, we actually earned more in 2025 than we did in 2024, even though we didn't sell the many number of books. So I have author coaching calls. I introduced the subscriptions, and then I tried to increase my number of income streams. So the ebooks and the digital products that I sell on my website. So things like the ebook box set was something that I introduced on my website, so people can buy on my website. Website sales, signed copies, things like that are all other ways that I've tried to diversify my income, and that's something that we always encourage authors to do. To try and make sure that if your book sales dip, at least you have other things that can supplement your income. So that's always great advice. So yeah, that's basically it. And before I go, I just want to talk a bit more about my upcoming release this year, Whispers of Promise and Glory. It is a Christian coming of age novel that is set in my home country, Cameroon. It has a sweet love story, and yeah, it will be releasing on Kickstarter in July 2026. The pre-launch page is currently up now. I'll leave the link in the description. If you love African literature and you love a blend of romance, like God honoring romance, but you love a story of resilience and perseverance, you love a sweet love story, you love a coming of age story, a story that follows a young girl as she navigates grief, loss, love, a civil war, and in order to pursue her dreams against overwhelming odds. It's a story of my heart, and I really, really love it, and I'm really excited for it. I will be sharing over the coming months more about the story. The project that we are going to be doing for this Kickstarter is the deluxe hardcover edition and also the special edition paperback as well. There's going to be so many things I'm going to put into this book. For example, the hardcover is going to have character art in it in color. It's going to have decorative chapter headers. It's going to have sprayed edges. It's going to have silver foiling. It's going to have two covers. So one cover on the dust jacket and another cover underneath the dust jacket. So it's going to be so many exciting things with this book. So yeah, if you're interested, check out the link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember that the sovereign love of the one true God has qualified you to be his beloved one. Take care and God bless you. Bye.